Here's how to buy houses for as little as $9,000 that can be worth as much as $60, $70, $80,000 is what you're going to see here in this video. We're going to show you property that are available right now for the average person who thinks maybe real estate's way out of their reach or out of their league. You're going to see a new unconventional way to get into real estate. And I'm also going to show you a very cool technique where you can go and make $10,000, $20,000 off of one of these properties with literally $500 to $2,000. So you'll see it here. It's unconventional. It's a very cool loophole in real estate that we're going to show you that's been around for a long time. I think you're really going to like it. However, if we're going to dive into this today, we need to bring in some horsepower, some heavy hitters. And the one man has the mustache. You've seen him. He's very well dressed and very well known in the land. Mr. Corey Chason with the mustache coming in hard. Mr. Josh Blanchard here today. Josh used to have a Tom Selleck mustache, but he grew it out and now he doesn't. Josh, I think can you bring that back for the good people out there?
Yeah, I've been hearing rumors that people want it. Yeah,
that's true. So we're gonna walk you guys through how to find some of these properties today. We're gonna have a good time. So if you're just tuning in, Dustin Hahn, Corey Chason, Josh Blanchard, and we've been doing real estate, tax liens and deeds, government seized properties, auction properties, you name it, over the last at least a decade. We've been doing this together now. Hundreds of properties, hundreds of auctions. We've had a lot of wins. We've made mistakes. And here we're going to show you how to do it, how to take action on these types of properties so you can follow along here exactly. So we're going to dive and jump right into it and show you some of these properties that you can get, because if anything, you've probably seen the price of real estate and you might think that this stuff is out of my reach. However, we can assure you it's not. We're going to show you some of these awesome properties that are available today. So we're going to go government seized properties and government auctions coming up that are happening that you can go and bid on. So Josh, let's show the folks out there what we have for them today.
All right. Check it out. So this is bid for assets. And, back in the day, you would have to physically be in Philadelphia to attend an auction. And now they've moved everything virtually. So, no matter where you are in the world, if you've got internet, you can go ahead and you can bid online, which is pretty cool. So what I've done already is download the list. So there's an upcoming auction on the 6th of December. This is in 3 days. So here we go. We've got the list here. On this list, we've got minimum bid, we've got an auction ID, the attorney group that's handling this, book writ number, OPA, which is Office of Property Assessment. This is just another way to catalog things, and then the address. So pretty sweet. You could go ahead, you could filter this down through different ways. We could just go ahead. Let's sort this by price. I'm actually going to do, there we go. So we can see we got some stuff. That didn't sort it by price, did it? Let me try that again. Sort by, not feeling it. All right. Sort by.
Filter it maybe. Oh,
I just want this one.
I think it's because you've got the two merged. If you remove the first two rows 1 and 2, it should do it.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Well, you don't have to delete it, but
how about now? Whoa.
As they sort these columns, for anybody tuning in, we're going to find some super cheap property. And what we always recommend is follow along and then go back and watch it and pause as we go. If you're watching live or watching the replay is key. And once again, if you like this stuff, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, ask us a question in the comments, or if you're watching live right now, go ahead and ask us a question. We will get to the questions here as we get a little later on. We'll take some question breaks and things like that. But what Josh just did is something very, very important, which is sort the list by minimum bid so that if you only have $7,000, $8,000, there's no point looking at things that are worth more than that. So back to you, Josh. Let's find a stellar deal that's available now.
Yeah, so we got this one, $4,100. Let's take a look. Let's just copy that address. I'm going to go open up another tab and paste that in here. All right, let's have a peek on Zillow. So it's got a Zestimate. It says none, but we do know that it's a 3-bed, 1-bath, 960 square feet. We've also got the 2024 assessed value, which is quite low, $4,700. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take that address. I'm going to put it back in here. look it up. That's going to zoom me into the property. So you can see here, now we're really close, getting pretty local. Let's go ahead and look at property that's sold in the last 6 months. So we can get some recent comps here. Okay. This is the address of the Summer Street. All right. So here we go. We got Summer Street. So we got 120K for a 4.2. We got 50K for a 3.1. We got 65K for a 4.2. That's actually looking pretty sweet. 160K, 3.1. So we got a whole bunch of comps all over the place. So what we would want to do if we're going to dive deeper is go ahead, read the descriptions and have a look. We could also filter out properties that are irrelevant. So you want to stick with the closest property type. So 3.1, 960 square feet. Real quick, let's just go ahead and get rid of anything that is more than 1,000 feet, 1,000 square feet. Wow. So that actually took everything out. So if we go out a little bit farther, we got 90K, 86K, 95K. So at this point, you're not getting too intense in this stuff. You're just kind of figuring out what this might be worth. So this one looks like it was occupied, but it was delivered vacant. This was sold as is. So you got 90K, 86. We got some some photos here. So this is not recently remodeled, but you've got like new appliances. You've got, it looks like an older kitchen. They replaced the flooring. So they did like a piecemeal, more or less remodel. Yeah, like a rental property. So that one was sold for 85K. This is all recent comps. We got 95K, 3.1, 940 square feet. This one is also same kind of thing. Like they remodeled certain things. They left the paint, old paint there. Looks like they could use patch and paint, but they've got a remodeled bathroom. So that kind of helps you figure out, okay, this house is probably worth it's at least worth north of $70,000. And so you got a minimum bid of $4,100. And so you could come and you could bid on this. You could drive, have a look. You could also do a street view if you want to take a peek there. Now, if you wanted to, so you got row houses in Philadelphia. So that's something else you got to look out for. Obviously, if the house next door is in really rough shape, that's going to affect your property. So that's a little bit of a different game. If you're from somewhere where they don't have row houses, what we could also do is take that OPA number. Let's look at some Philadelphia tax collector or assessor. Let's take a look at the assessor's website.
Ooh,
Oh, I think you're muted, brother.
Oh, shout out for the free course.
Corey put the banner up. Good stuff. Good timing. For anybody who wants to get started, thank you for the reminder, we got a totally free mini course called the ABCs of Tax Lien and Deed Investing. This is one of the best ways to get started. It is a totally free book on how to do it. It's in the description below if you guys want to check that out. And we also have the Tax Lien and Deed directories that give you all the phone numbers to everywhere that have these auctions. We even took some of our greatest hits from DVDs back in the day and put them on demand. So you guys can get that in the description below. There's a link there. And if you're just tuning in, Dustin Hahn, Corey Chason, Josh Blanchard here. We're looking for some really great deals. We just found one for $4,000. And then we sorted the list. So there's quite a few here. For those of you guys watching, follow along with this stuff, pause it, come back, re-watch it, and then pause it as we go so that you guys can really learn this stuff, right? Because all the information in the world is useless if you're not taking action on it. So that's what we want to encourage you guys to do. The Philadelphia sale we've been to many times, purchased a lot of properties there. And as Josh is pulling this up, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, one of the cool features about the Philadelphia auctions is a couple things. Number one is when you register, when you win the bid, you only have to put down 10%, and then you have about 30 days to pay for the properties. And another good perk of these Philly auctions is the fact that you're able to assign the bid. So for example, let's say you have a house and it's worth $50,000. Okay. Maybe you get the winning bid for, $9,000, which is awesome. But because you put 10% down, that means you put $900 down. Okay. From there, maybe you find somebody who wants to buy that property from you for $20,000. The cool thing about Philly is the fact that you can assign your winning bid for a fee. So for example, in that situation, you could assign it for, say, $10,000 on top of the price you paid. Make 10,000 bucks. You're into the deal for, $900. So those types of things happen. I want to bring Josh back here because he has a funny story at the Philly auction for somebody who went to the bathroom and missed out. We were just doing one of our trainings and mentioned this story as well. So Josh, I know you've already told it today, but could you tell it again about the story of the bathroom bandit who lost a good deal, but still got a good deal while giving us a good deal. Lots of deals.
Yeah. So back when they used to do these live in person, the lady who was conducting them, she actually moved really quickly. There wasn't much time. There wasn't any dilly-dallying. She would just read off the bids or the property address, and things would move fast. She was pretty snappy. And so we had a max bid sheet. We had a bunch of students there at the auction. And one of our students, he won a property. And that was pretty amazing. And what had happened that we found out after is this gentleman, he approached the student and said, hey, I really wanted that property. I was actually waiting for it. And then he had to use the bathroom. And so when he left to use the bathroom is actually when that property went up. He thought he had more time. And that's when our student picked it up. And so he's like, I'll give you, I don't remember the exact amount. It would have been $5,000 or $10,000. So I could give you $5,000 or $10,000 to assign the property over to me. And so right there in the auction that day, our student was able to make cash really quickly just by assigning that bid to him. And then he went on to then pay for the balance of the property and do it himself. So super unique. I mean, you can't really do this at any other tax sale in the country. So a really unique experience that's super helpful.
Nice. Very cool. I just want to address some of the questions. For those of you guys who are tuning in, ask us some questions here in the comment. If you're watching the replay, ask questions in the comments as well, and we will get to them. So Layla is saying that they bought a property from an investor, and then now the resident is suing them because they don't want to leave. So remember, when you're doing this stuff, guys, research is important. And that's why we like to always buy directly from the county, so that we're in control of the process the whole way. So that's what these videos are dedicated for. That's why we give away the ABCs of tax lien and deed investing, because there's the research checklists for everybody to go through in this sort of stuff. And one of the key things that you need to make sure in the research is that the county has notified the people who are on the chain of title. So for example, if the homeowners haven't been notified properly, that means the county didn't do their job. Sometimes the county doesn't do their job, and maybe they didn't send the notice to the homeowner. So in that situation, the homeowner can contest the sale, which it sounds like is happening here. So since you bought it from an investor, maybe those details weren't up front. However, if the county didn't issue that, then basically you can go bring it up, and a lot of the times they'll void the sale and just give you your money back. So if they didn't send their notice properly, then you can go ahead and request your money back because they didn't do their job properly. However, most of the time they do. And one of the big arbitrages in this business is there's 3,300 counties in the US. Half of them are the tax deeds, which we have all of the phone numbers for in the description below. And then remember, half of them are tax lien properties where you can make an interest rate. So they do their job most of the time, but this channel is here to help you guys learn how to research properly and things like that. So if you like this stuff, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you like this. All that's in the description below, and fire away with your questions as we are on our quest now to see some properties. We just looked at one for 4K, and on with the show, Josh.
All right. Yeah. So you know what? I was trying to find, like back in the day, you could use OPA, the Office of Property Assessments. And so I went in here and I'm trying to use it, and it's gotten super bizarre. So they're saying you can use this property application, but then they want you to draw a boundary. Like they want you to draw a shape on the map and then do a search. And so you can't search anymore by owner due to privacy concerns. And so this isn't as helpful as it used to be. And so then instead of this, what you could go ahead and do is take the property address, you can put it into PropWire. And so PropWire is actually free. Anybody can sign up for it. And what that's going to do is show you the tax assessed value. Because if you're treating this like a property, you want to make sure that there's a house on it, right? And so when we did that street view, my thought was, I wonder if this is where the house was before. See, this is July 2024. So what I did is I put the property address in PropWire, and then it shows right here, you can see total market value. And so they're saying $4,700. And you can see it just says market land value, $4,700, market improvement value, 0. And so if there is a house on it or a garage or any kind of physical structure, that's going to show up as an improvement value. And so in this case right here, you just assume, oh, you know what? Okay, there's no actual house on this. It's just a piece of land. So they're valuing it at 4,700. And so that would help, right? And so if you were just to buy this blindly for 4,100, thinking there's a house on it, you would be wrong. So let's go ahead and let's take the next one there. Go ahead, copy that. Let's just put it right into PropWire right off the bat. So you see how it's not coming up? A lot of times it's just I need to take the word street out and put ST. Let's see if that fixes it. 313 North Robinson. That's our property address, right? Yeah, 313 North Robinson. Boom. All right, let's check it out. So here's another one, 9,000 assessed value, another 998 square feet. So instead of doing a whole bunch of research on Zillow on the front end, let's just go ahead. Let's see what's going on here under tax. So whoa, here's another one where you can see that market improvement value, 0. So we just saved ourselves doing some due diligence. It's just a lot. Let's go ahead, copy the next one into PropStream. It's my bad. PropWire. It's PropWire. 530 East Philadelphia. Nope. Wait. East Loudoun. Let's try that again. 530 East Loudoun. Remember, these are coming up in a couple of days. So if you are looking to get into the tax deed game, you can go ahead and sign up for the auction, do some research. Oh, here's another one. Just a lot only. All right, we're going to get to some houses here. I promise you that. All right, 318 East Alabanas or something like that. East. All right. 10,000. I'm going out on a limb saying it's just a piece of land. Yeah, you can also see here, property type, land. All right, let's keep going.
So as Josh goes through this is part of the fishing expedition, right? So he downloaded the list. There's also another site, the Line Barger website, that actually has some pictures of these, but it's nice to be able to have the list so you can go through and move quite quickly. A lot of the times you can get super cheap land and lots. Like we like to find lots that are in town, in the city, so that we have plenty of people who watch this channel who will buy a lot for, a couple $100 or a couple thousand and sell it and double, triple their money, and then just start working their way up in this business and in this game. So Josh is starting here kind of at the bottom. And this is where, like, if you're working with outsourcing, maybe with a virtual assistant, they can go through and screen all of this here for you. But remember, for predictability, you can go on to Zillow and pay full price all day long. It's like, so what if it takes you, 4 or 5 hours of going through this process to find a great property that you can make $5, $10, $20, $50,000 on? It's totally worth it. The sad thing these days is most people aren't willing to do it. So right now, Josh is finding mostly just lots and land. We're going to get into the meat of some houses here pretty quickly. Josh, what if you jump down the list a little bit and we see, like, for example, if you go Control F, Josh, and type in 04228 and see what comes up there for me. So 04228.
04228. Oh, 04.
Sorry, 04228. Okay. It's not on your list. It is on mine. Type in Still Street, Stiles.
Let's see.
Or sorry, Stiles. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one right here. Yeah.
Here we go. So this one, let's check this out quick. So opening bid on this property he's going to look at is $8,800. And we can see, we're going to now take a look, see what's going on. So estimated value here, 110. Opening bid $8,800. Now Josh can walk us through some of the due deals you guys will go through, because deals like this can be quite good.
All right, let's take a peek. Yeah, let's throw it up into Zillow. All right, 4228 with Styles.
Styles.
My bad.
Styles
Oh,
or
yeah,
Stills?
Styles. It is Styles, yeah. Type essential comes.
And once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, we're hunting for some properties. If you like this stuff, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you want to learn how to get properties in an unconventional way, and ask us a question in the comments. We would love to hear from you. And once again, if you're just tuning in, you can go start from the beginning, pause as you go. So let's check out this this property here that we just found.
Yeah, you know what? When I'm looking at it, I'm just seeing total assessed value. See nothing for land or improvement. 4228. So we got, oh, probably this one then. Yes, look at this, all by its lonesome self. Looks like you've got maybe some. Yeah, so you got a whole bunch of different stuff here in the area. But yeah, I'm thinking it's this one that's got the spray paint there. Let's go ahead and have a look at the area, see what's going on. Let's get hyper local like we like to do. I'm going to go ahead, copy paste that address here, and 1674. So we got no bed bath square foot. We just got the square footage. So it's probably just some pretty rough shape. But let's see what this could be worth. So we have the filter from before. Just going to go ahead, reset all filters. There we go. All right. So we've got, let's see, 80K, 113K, 165, 68, 300, 170. When we go ahead, let's start, the 80K is right in the middle. And let's make sure, let's just look in the last 6 months to start out. 13K, I mean, it's selling for 13K. Doesn't say, not sure. Let's go up from there. 22. So it looks like a piece of land sold for 22. 55K, also a piece of land. Okay. So 70K. Oh, this was just 9 hours ago. Wow. Oh, rental. Okay. Wait a second, but it would still have something. Yeah, hard to see the information on this one because we've got it as a rental. So let's go ahead. Let's check out this one. Wait, where's the other one here? Yeah, 170.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's tuned up quite nice. That's really nice.
Oh yeah, they should have just
That's a nice.
done nicer cupboards, cabinets and stuff. You've got like this sweet flooring. They got sweet brick walls. Everything looks awesome. And then they've
How
got,
far is this from our property of interest?
so this is super close. This is what are we, 422 Styles. So we're like right here. So this is not even a block away, half a block. And so we're on, oh, my bad. Yeah, right. So we've got the lot for 22, 55. We got this remodel property for 170. We've got this other one for 70K, but we're not sure exactly what's going on there. That one was also off market. So it's important to notice if something is off market or on market. So with off market, it's not going to have all of the realtor information attached to it. And here you can see listed by, and you got the real estate group. So I mean, we've got 1436, and this is 1674. So very similar. Ours is actually taller though. Yeah, so it wouldn't be unreasonable then to assume if you do a remodel, and I mean, still, I'm thinking that they really could have punched up on this kitchen. I mean, this isn't like
Those
it's
look
not
like
granite or anything.
90s cupboards.
Yeah, for real. I mean, the kitchen is like the most important thing, right? So yeah, so you could probably punch up even higher, I bet. Let's just zoom out a little bit more, see if we got anything higher than that. Okay, so look, you got the 193, you got the 2. All right, so what was our bid here on this again? This is, yeah, 8,800. And so, I mean, remodeled, fixed up, you could be punching, 170K plus. You got the 200K, you got the 193, you got 187. Yeah, you got a 3-1 for 187.
What's our square foot on this again? Let's see. 16. That's a pretty decent size. 1,674 square feet on that property. So when it comes to doing a remodel, probably budget, at least 50, 60 bucks per square foot for a full remodel. So when we bring that into consideration, like that, when you consider a remodel price, like that brings it to top of market, which would be like the example that Josh is showing here, which is, top of market, rental ready to go. What'd you crunch there, Josh?
Oh, we're like 75. Let's go. Let's go $60 square foot. Okay, so yeah, it's $60 square foot. You got about 90,000 to get this thing completely remodeled.
Yeah, so there would be many options at play in this situation. Now, first off, you need to get some eyes on it, a current picture of the property. But, something like this, there's many ways to make money on it. So obviously the first way, if you drive by the property, you see it, if somebody's living in the property, that, okay, cool. At least, it's got plumbing, it's livable. Those are all good signs that we're interested in. So at that point, seeing that there's something selling for 170, 180, literally just a block away, we can start doing some extrapolation. Remember, as you guys are looking into this stuff, talk to some real estate agents in the area, start to network a little bit, do a little bit of work, right? As far as just building up your real estate IQ. What I love about the business is the fact that when you contrast the amount of time and effort it takes to get into this and find these properties, compared to becoming a doctor or a lawyer, it is a fraction of the time, right? We have folks who just watch this channel. They just use the book, ABCs of Tax Lien and Deed Investing, combined with what's on this channel. There's a link below for you guys to get this. It follows step by step the deep dives that's needed. And then we have the directory as well for contacting Tax Lien and Deed properties. So that's in the description below. If you follow the steps, take some time in this stuff, within a week or a couple months, you'll be able to buy and flip these properties. We have people who watch, within their first week, they're buying these things. And, you can see in the comments that people are buying them. And I like to verify as well, because someone will be like, oh, I bought this property at this address, and you can go in, check the county record and see what's going on. But for example, this property here, if you're just tuning in, we found one, opening bids, 8,800 bucks. The value as is a bit to be determined. However, fixed up, we're seeing it could be worth, 160, 170 plus, but we're counting on a full rehab to be conservative, right? At 60 bucks a square foot, 1,600. So you're looking at about like 90 grand ish for a totally full rehab on this property. And then at that point, you could rent it out for, top of market. But let's say you go and you win it for 10,000 bucks in this situation.
I think you froze. Did I freeze? Dustin? Dustin? All right, maybe we could get a comment there. Oh, you're back?
I'm back. We lost it. Teamwork makes the stream work. Josh, were you just continuing that thread there?
I was trying to figure out what was going on. I was trying to figure out if you were frozen or if I was frozen.
The internet cut out. We're back. What was the last thing you heard me say before it cut off?
I think you were going to go about, let's say you pick the bid up for $10,000. Maybe you were going to talk about
yeah.
signing.
So a property like this, there's opportunity in the sense of like, so in Philly, you only need to put down 10%. So let's say you win the bid for 10,000 bucks. Okay. You put down $1,000. So in the meantime, you could either get a credit card, to get the money, or if you have the money, or bring in an investor or whatever you want to do to get this property. or you could market it and assign the bid. So even if it's for like $5,000 or $4,000, where you assign the bid to somebody else, you're still making money in this game. And that's what really makes it a ton of fun. So we have some of those. So let's continue our exploring with what else is on this list. And once again, guys, ask some questions. The questions are kind of quiet here today, so we want to hear from you. What have you done any of these deals? Actually, today is the first Tuesday of the month. So for anybody just tuning in, that is a very important day, because in Texas and Georgia, their sales are the first Tuesday of the month, which is today. So we just came from one of our coaching sessions where we've had some students going to these auctions, as they do all the time. So it's always an exciting day, the first Tuesday of the month, for these auctions.
Yeah, because it looks like, if you treat the value that it's let's say $190,000, if you take 35% off, or let's take 35% off, so that brings you down from 190 to 123. And then if it's going to take $90,000 to remodel this thing, you could pick it up for 33,500 and still make a profit on it. But we should take off $3,000 for tax title services to help with the title issues. So it's like, you drive this property and it's standing there. You don't have any foundation issues that are major. And, you crunch some numbers, you look at the property, put in some rehab work, and it's going to be $90,000 to fix it up. You could get this for up to $30,500 and still make a profit on it. So yeah, I mean, you get it for $20K, right? You got to put down 10%, so $2,000, and then you go ahead and you flip this thing for money, make some serious money on your $2,000, which is pretty sweet. And here it is right here. This is the assignment of bid. So it's pretty chill. You just have your book, writ number, and the property. You go ahead and you can assign it to someone. So this is who you're going to assign it to, notarize it, and that's pretty it. I mean, that's it. That's pretty simple, pretty quick, easy. There's not much to it. And again, this is really the only place that I know of in the States that you can do this. The other thing I was thinking, Dustin, is, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no. Go ahead, Josh. What are you thinking?
Is that it's what happens a lot of the time in Philadelphia is people get on a payment plan. And so they may be headed for the auction, and then they can go ahead and stop it very easily just by getting on that payment plan. And so because we are looking so close to the opening date here, which is the 6th, so that's in 3 days, my assumption is that probably a lot of these are vacant lots. And so I think we went through the first like 10, 15 there, and it's mostly vacant lots. But the reason is again, because it's really easy to get on payment plan. That gets you taken off of the roster. And so if you go ahead and, if we were to go and download the list, like, there's the 11th, 18th, 27th, a lot of the stuff down the line, like you could start working the 2025 auction list, but the bulk of that's going to get canceled. And so you can see right here, it says status preview. And so if it was canceled, if you're looking in the future, you see it as closed. That means that they're on a list now, or they got paid up and they stopped it from going to the auction. So that's why when we're looking at it right now, I mean, a lot of the stuff that we're sifting through is just these vacant lots. But better to be looking at stuff that is most likely going to go. And so right now, the chances that that they stop this from going to the sale in 3 days is fairly low at this point, because they've had all that time before. And, if someone was going to stop it, they would have stopped it by now. But if we were to pull a list down the road, it would probably look very different. You're going to have some stuff where the open bid is like $4,000 and it's worth like $400K. But a lot of that stuff is going to get canceled. Not all of it, though, for sure. But that's why at this point, looking at the list, we're seeing a lot of vacant lots.
Yeah, and that's one of the big rookie mistakes that people make when they're getting into the business, is, especially back in the day, like when you had to travel, is people be like, oh, I traveled from California to wherever, East Coast, and all my properties were, redeemed from the list. And then I'll ask, well, how many properties were on your list? And then they'll be like, oh, there was 7, right? So remember, human nature is to leave everything until the last minute. I leave things till the last minute pretty much all the time, and then get the adrenaline rush of seeing if I can actually pull it off. So especially when you think about taxes, these guys leave it until the last minute. So when you have one of these, expect 85% of the properties to redeem within a couple days before the auction. So what you do is you start to keep an eye on the properties, and then like Josh is showing here, as it's getting closer, like these are kind of what you're going to be left to deal with. Now tomorrow morning, things will continue to redeem. But remember, like if you're going to travel to one of these auctions, we always say make sure there's at least 100 properties that you can go look at when you get there. For example, we're doing a live auction trip coming up in January. It's going to be in Harris County. If anybody's interested in maybe joining us for an auction trip, there will be a link below also in the description there. You guys can check out, or just download the ABCs and then you'll see the link to book if you want to join us in the field on this. But we travel, we fly. So we want to make sure there's at least, 50 to 100 of these properties there ready to go, so that the day of the auction, we're left with, 15, 20 of these properties that we can actually go and bid on. So that is a really good way to do it and get in the mix. We actually had a crazy situation one time where we scooped up a property before the auction, which is another strategy you can do as well, is scoop it up before. Josh, you mind telling that story of the pre-auction deal that we did? It was like kind of the home run, but we had to like scramble and bring cash. And it was, some of your biggest and most profitable deals will come in situations where you got to be like a problem solver. You got to be quick on your feet. And the most profitable deals can be wrapped in some you got to be speedy. Josh, you mind telling them that story?
Yeah, this one was pretty gnarly. We were looking at properties in Ohio. This was just in the county north of Cincinnati, so north of Hamilton County, Ohio. And we had found all of the delinquent taxpayers, all the people who were going to the auction, and we were sending them some text messages. And so we found this guy. He had inherited the property from his father, and it was just sitting there. He wasn't doing anything with it. And it was on the chopping blocks. And so we had gotten a hold of him the day before the sale. He reaches out and he's like, yeah, I'd be interested in selling it. But he wasn't looking for really to do much. And so we're trying to work with him, do this purchase and sale agreement and try to get him some money. And he's like, you know what, this is just too much. It's not even worth it. Like, I don't think it's going to work out. And so I was like, what? Like, this guy doesn't want any money. And so we really simplified it for him. And we did our own closing and got everything done within 24 hours. And so we really had to scramble, right? Because I think it was like 6 p.m. our time where we really started to get some momentum. And so what we did is we got a quitclaim deed done up, which is just like transferring a property as is. So went on lawdepot.com, had them help us out to write this quitclaim deed. And then I had to find a mobile notary to meet in the morning to get this thing notarized. We had to also pay the taxes to stop this sale. But what ended up happening is we gave him $10,000. He signed the deed. He signed the deed first, then we gave him $10K. And then we paid a couple $1,000s to stop the sale, paid a couple $1,000s to a few different departments with the county. But yeah, stop the sale. And that thing went on to sell for like $136,000. And we put like 20,000 into it. It was actually in really good shape. So it was pretty mind blowing that he was going to let this thing go, but he just had no interest in it at all whatsoever. But we took care of all of the heavy lifting for him because it just wasn't working to try to get him to go through this huge purchase and sale agreement, DocuSign, all of these things. And so we had a guy on the ground there in Ohio who just drove to him, got this thing signed, stopped the sale. And yeah, I mean, if that had gone to the auction, it would have gotten bid up for sure, like easily $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. And so yeah, it was just all in $20,000, $10K cash to him, and just got that thing handled quickly.
Nice. And that's the thing about this business for anybody who's wanting to get into real estate or make some money with this stuff is there's many different ways. So like tax liens and deeds, government seized properties, over-the-counter properties are a great way. Like if you're on a budget, right? Like you can find properties for a couple $100 you can flip for several thousand. A lot of folks will say like, oh, it's junk property. Here's the thing. depending on where you look, like if it's an over-the-counter property, seized property, sure, there's going to be a lot of junk. There'll be many reasons why it didn't sell. However, there's a lot of things that get overlooked, right? So this is a game of being scrappy, putting in a little bit of elbow grease and learning something new, which is also a lot of fun. It's like treasure hunting for adults, you know, especially when you think about like all of the time, you know, if you go on your phone and you look on the old screen app, you know, for example, today, I've spent 3 hours and 40 minutes on my phone today, which is not too bad, actually. Some days are a little higher. But if you go on that phone and you see your social media time is, you know, hours, TikTok, Instagram, you know, the irony here is you're on YouTube, which can be used for education, but most folks are just on YouTube feeling like they're doing something, but never really acting on the information, right? So for example, you know, like one of the best things to do is to watch this, go start at the beginning and follow along with us step by step, look at these properties, pause it and do the work. And the reason I bring up the phone app is because, you know, think about the thousands of hours per year that you're just kind of scrolling mindlessly on social media. And I'm not saying pointing you out specifically, but, you know, I could easily say, you know, probably 60, 70% of those or the people that tune in never do anything. And it's literally, you're just wasting time. Like, you know, it doesn't often feel good. And there's this funny feeling you get sometimes when you've just watched so much social media. It's just kind of like this yuck, all of that dopamine. So to put in a little bit of elbow grease into this business, to find some of these properties and to get going is really one of the best things that you can do. Like, you know, my story, I was working on an oil rig, got into this stuff, totally helped. Josh was also oil rigging back in the day and came over and got into this business as well. Started working right from the beginning, didn't know a thing. He moved or he's in Alberta at the time, changed provinces, states, and really just took a gamble to get into real estate and to, you know, start a life in a better province. As
Right.
you know, for everybody who's in a cold place, you know, you guys have the grit, but you know, to take that action and tend to really do it, right? Because I'm sure, as you guys notice, as you get older, days just go by. You know, Josh, you have a kid now, another one on the way. Like, man, you probably open your eyes and then the day's over. Hey.
Oh yeah, they're flying by way too fast.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, the best time to have got started with this was 20 years ago or today, right? It's never going to be easier than it is today, especially with all the tools. So, you know, if you guys want some help with this stuff, in the description below, you can book a call with us. We can talk to you one-on-one. We can do like a private strategy with you to show you where to go, what to avoid, how to avoid the mistakes and things like that, as we do some training and mentoring and things like that. That's below, as well as these greatest hits. These were DVDs that are on demand. All of that's below. So we'll do a couple quick questions here. Let's see. Mary's saying, can we pay with credit card if we win? Pennsylvania, no. However, or is it Josh? It's Michigan that allows you to pay with credit card, which is super cool. Another strategy, though, is you get a 0% interest credit card and just go. And, you know, if it's 6 months, 0%, use that money, use the bank's money to buy these. Now, once again, only do that if you can afford like the minimum payment on that, as far as that goes. But, you know, this is a great business to get started in. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Good stuff. Dominique went to his first sale, or Dominique went to the first sale today. Can you talk more about life estates? We haven't necessarily done a lot of life estate sales. We do, you know, tax lien, tax deed sales. However, the fundamentals of an auction are fairly simple as far as getting into it. So like, for example, the cool thing with tax lien and government seized properties is the fact that the mortgage gets erased, which is totally awesome. You can do your research, find out. The big thing you want to be looking for is, like we mentioned earlier, did the county send the notices to everybody? And then from there, you want to watch out for county liens on the property. So the reason that is the county's not the biggest fan of wiping out themselves, right? So if they have a, you know, $20,000 grass cutting lien or clean up garbage and they put a lien on that property, that won't get erased because that's a county lien that sticks with it. So that's something to definitely be aware of. So if you're going to like an estate sale or something, you still need to do your research on the property very thoroughly, because when you're going to like a bank auction or sometimes an estate auction, what can happen is the mortgages don't get wiped out. And Josh, I don't know if you saw it, but I just did, almost it last week, I did a video, Dave Ramsey exposed. Did you see that one, Josh?
Oh, I saw the thumbnail. I didn't get to watch it yet.
Yeah. So I made that video because some people were commenting below. It's like, what do you think of Dave Ramsey's comments on tax liens? And I'm like, oh, that'll be interesting. He's got some interesting takes on things. And, as far as a creator and things like that, I definitely respect what he's done. But man, I could not believe how I've never seen somebody so confidently wrong about tax lien and deed investing. It just blew me away. Like just the confidence in how wrong, because he was talking about like, going to these sales is like a needle in a haystack. And then you have to pay all the mortgages and all that, which is wrong. Like, that's a foreclosure auction or an HOA auction where when you buy something, you inherit the mortgages that are attached to it. But the key thing with this stuff is the fact that because the government tax lien is always the fundamental lien. So like if this is the land, anything above it, we'll use our little DVD, this is the house. If there's mortgages on there, they get wiped out because the bottom lien is foreclosing. And the thing that comes around is like, who do you think is the biggest redeemer of these properties? It's the banks, because the county sends the bank a notice and says, hey, the property taxes aren't paid. Pay us our property taxes or we're going to wipe you out and your lien is not valid. So that's why this is such a cool business. So 90% of the time, sure, the bank is going to pay those taxes. It's going to be removed from the sale. However, there's tons of properties that are paid for, and the person at the bank is a human being, right? They could be out partying on the weekend, or insert any banker stereotype that, you might think of, and they fall through the cracks, right? So that's why these awesome deals can happen. So that is totally awesome. So on that note, folks, we'll land the plane. We'll go live here another day this week. We haven't quite figured that out, but Tuesdays are definitely a pretty regular day. So once again, go through, take action on this stuff. Don't just watch the video and do nothing. Start at the beginning of this video, follow along with us, pause it as you go, write down your questions, bring your questions to the next live stream. We'll answer them live. And once again, if you want some help with this business, there's a link below in the description. If you want to learn how to do it, we can help make you a custom plan, and help you avoid some of the mistakes, save you some trial and error as well. So there's a link for that in the description, as well as the directory, which has all the phone numbers to the counties and the book. So like I mentioned, we used to sell this thing. Now we give it away for free to help you get started. And then if you want to do that, that's in the link below. And as far as trainings, we do have some personalized one-on-one training that we do. And the reason we do that is because we just work with a small group of people. We try to give you guys as much value as possible here on YouTube. And then for the people who might want more, it's like, for example, if you go to a restaurant and you buy a burger and maybe the chef is selling his recipe book, how dare he do that? So it's the same thing. And we offer that for anybody who's interested. So regardless, we appreciate you taking the time, spending it here tonight. Thumbs up, subscribe if you like this stuff. And we'll see you in the next one. Josh, thanks for sharing your expertise. And we'll catch you guys on the next stream. See you soon.